Salisbury steak is a ground beef patty flavored with minced onions, breadcrumbs, and other seasonings before being broiled or fried and then served up with gravy. Salisbury steak pairs best with a medium to full-bodied red wine such as Malbec, Cabernet Sauvignon, Pinotage, Shiraz, or Petite Sirah. If your Salisbury steak is in a mushroom sauce or gravy, Pinot Noir makes an exceptional pairing. I give all these wine pairings a 4 out of 5 as Salisbury steak recipes vary, as does its quality. A homemade Salisbury steak will feature higher quality ingredients, and it deserves a higher quality wine. Meanwhile, a frozen Salisbury steak dinner from the grocery store tends to be mass-produced and it will use lower quality ingredients, making it taste a little bit plain, and this requires a red wine with a little less depth. You'll also find Salisbury steak at restaurants, but your wine selection may be a bit limited as it's often served at more comfort food themed establishments like diners or truck stops. Our first pairing is Malbec and Salisbury steak pairing, and again, I give this 4 out of 5. Your mileage may vary. An inexpensive Malbec from Argentina is fruit forward and has a short, smoky finish, which makes it ideal with Salisbury steak in a rich gravy. An Argentina Malbec, which I recommend, is also known for its refreshing flavors of plum, blackberry, and its smooth, velvety texture, which makes it a must with beef. Oak versions of Malbec will showcase flavors of chocolate and vanilla, and they are a little more ideal for homemade variants. I always say Argentina Malbec with beef as it's a bit of a crowd pleaser. It's fruit forward, smoky. You can get Malbec from France and it's going to be a little more savory and herbally, and it has its merits, but I don't think for a beginner wine drinker, person getting into wine, French Malbec is the way to go. It's not as pleasing for our kind of North American tastes. Our next pairing is a Chilean Cabernet Sauvignon and Salisbury steak pairing. Again, I give this 4 out of 5. Your mileage may vary depending on the quality of the wine and the Salisbury steak. I say Chilean Cabernet Sauvignon because it is a little more refreshing in its flavors of blackberry, fig, and black cherry than other Cabernet Sauvignons. It's also less expensive, and with Salisbury steak, you tend to not want to go too expensive unless you've gone full gourmet if you've made it homemade. You'll also find green peppercorn notes as well as baking spice notes that complement the Salisbury steak seasonings. And you can go with a young Cabernet Sauvignon as the fat and protein in the Salisbury steak will tame the tannin. So with Cabernet Sauvignon, you normally want to age it a little bit to let those tannins soften, but with Salisbury steak, it's usually made from a medium ground beef, which is got a significant amount of fat and protein in it, and that will tame the Cabernet Sauvignon and allow the flavors of the wine to come out a little bit more. An Australian Cabernet Sauvignon will also be delicious, and it has notes of black plum, and you also get white pepper notes that are delicious with Salisbury steak, especially when it is made at home. Our third pairing is Shiraz and Salisbury steak. Shiraz comes in two styles, Old World and New World. Old World Syrah from Italy and France have earthy and herbaceous flavors that make it ideal with homemade Salisbury steak, where a lot of high quality seasonings are used. Old World Shiraz isn't a big crowd pleaser in North America, however, so you might want to go with a New World Shiraz that features flavors of blackberry and blueberry, along with peppery notes that breathes a little more life into the Salisbury steak, especially if it is like a mass-produced grocery store Salisbury steak. Our fourth pairing is Pinotage and Salisbury steak, and Pinotage is a South African red wine loaded with refreshing black cherry, plum, raspberry flavors, followed by a smoky finish. So the fruit and smoky finish is just delicious with your Salisbury steak. The smokiness kind of complements the gravy, and the berry flavors are refreshing against the meaty density of the Salisbury steak. You don't want to go too cheap with Pinotage, as low quality bottles often have a nail polish remover sent to them. Instead, go for something middle of the road. And our final pairing is Pinot Noir and Salisbury steak in a mushroom gravy. Pinot Noir is a light and fruity red wine with a subtle earthiness that loves mushrooms and will complement your mushroom gravy. Pinot Noir's notes of wild strawberry and tart red cherry will taste refreshing against the meaty flavors of the Salisbury steak and help each bite taste fresh as the wine's acidity washes the fattiness of the gravy away. You don't want to go too high end with the Pinot Noir. You want to probably stick to low to medium tiers. Low tiers are better with, the frozen variety of Salisbury steak, and I'd go a little bit medium with homemade Salisbury steak. For more wine pairings, be sure to visit my website. I got a little search engine there. You just find the food or wine you're interested in pairing, and you get all the best pairings ranked. Also, if this video helped you out, be sure to give it a like. It helps more people find it and helps my channel grow. Also, if you're looking for any other recommendations or you have a recommendation yourself, be sure to leave a comment below. Until next time, cheers.